I don't know why we all couldn't just let it be. We're looking for answers I don't want to see. And why does it have to
Hey everybody, it's that time again where we have to talk about a comic book on some kind of podcast. It's me, Tasrel, your host for It's Talkie. And with me is also the host for It's Talkie, Scanner.
Hello, I'm the other host. I'm Scanner, and my pronouns are they, them.
Yes, and mine are he, they. Unless I'm anti-Tasrel.
Yeah.
Then those are secret.
There will be no anti-scanner today. I've boarded all the windows and doors.
Yeah, well, you did kill anti-scanner, so they can't come back.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're talking about some comics that happen at a date in history. But before we get into that, we should probably see what's in the movies this week for September 11th, 2001.
Mm-hmm. What were people going to see?
Oh, were they going to? Everybody was going to see The Musketeer.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun movie. I've not seen it in a while, but you should probably go watch it. Better than whatever's on TV. And then there's American Pie 2. They made a sequel to it. They kept making them.
Yeah. What are they up to now? Like 11? 12?
Who knows?
American Pie 12?
And then we have Captain Corelli's Mandolin, which is period romantic piece? Period drama / romance. Can't be falling in love with Italians in World War II. I'm sorry. But yeah, Jurassic Park 3 and Shrek are still here.
I'm looking at the poster for Captain Corelli's Mandolin, and this has like a scarily airbrushed Nick Cage on it. He looks so smooth.
Also, we got The Curse of the Jade Scorpion. Which I'm like...
These are fake movies.
This is the most fake movie you can think of. We sure did love bringing back 1930s and 40s serials in the late 90s, early 2000s.
They really did. It was a very strange thing. Some of them were almost good.
Yeah.
Sorry, some of them were good. I don't know why I said almost. I don't know why I had to qualify that.
And then we got like Fast and Furious, Moulin Rouge, and Mummy Returns. So, yeah, mostly movies we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Strange, there's not a lot of new movies coming out this week. Maybe the Hot 100 will have more new stuff. People were really listening to like TV and radio a lot today here on September 11th. Don't know if they're listening to a lot of the music stations though. Wonder why. But hey, we got Jennifer Lopez featuring Ja Rule with I'm Real. Number 1. Oh wait, let's see what our greatest gainer is for sales. Where's the party at?
I hate that it's called that.
Where's the party at with from Jagged Edge with Nelly? The other greatest gainer airplay is You Rock My World by some nobody called Michael Jackson. And I wonder if they're ever going to make a movie about him.
Probably.
I hope not.
Maybe quite a few. Maybe one that would be really disliked by the estate of Michael Jackson, and one that would be coming out recently and incredibly fawning.
Yeah. Although he is getting beaten out by his sister Janet. With someone to call my lover. Why don't we get the Janet Jackson biopic?
So maybe that'll be like the other movies. They'll do like an Avengers style thing where they're like building up to, where they all have to like team up. I don't know who they would fight, but
oh wait, number 8. We got It's Been a While by Stained, and then Drops of Jupiter by Train. What do your eyes see here? Anything popping out to you?
That's a good question. I see Keith Urban and Tim McGraw. I bet they're going to climb a little bit. I see.
Oh, I'm a Believer by Smash Mouth.
Oh hell yeah! Because of Shrek, people love that song.
Yeah.
It was the song at the end. They thought love was only true in fairy tales. I do see Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz at 65. Or no, hang on. Oh, this week. God, there's too many fucking numbers on this. At 63. I see the Alien Ant Farm's cover of Smooth Criminal.
Yeah.
The song that they did not have to go that hard on. At 52. Yeah, that's the main things that jump out to me. I see Crawling by Linkin Park.
We got Be Like That from Three
Oh my god,
Doors Down.
Sandstorm by Darude.
Yeah, Darude. Yeah, Darude.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, it's probably the most important song of the generation. Oh wait, does this count? Does this count as foreshadowing?
What do you mean, sorry?
Something happened, and then we're gonna go. Then the U.S. is gonna be in a lot of sandy places with sandstorms.
Yeah, and they're gonna do Operation Desert Storm 2.
Yeah,
this time it'll work.
This time, nothing bad will happen. Also, I do enjoy that. Like, now that we're running off a scan, we've got like inexplicable markings from whoever had this Billboard magazine before it got scanned in.
Yeah, someone was crossing things out. They were mad. They're like, I hate that Bootylicious by Destiny's Child is at number 50. I hate that.
They really hate Purple Hills by D12. They struck it from the record. They do love Angry All the Time by Tim McGraw, though.
What's he got to be angry about? Did anything happen?
Probably not. Not to him. So hey, what's going on with the indie music at this time?
That is a good question. So here's my list. So a lot comes out at the latter half of 2001. So there's a specific album I want to talk about, but that I'll talk about next week because well, you'll see. But just these are the ones that immediately jumped out to me. Jane Doe by Converge, classic metalcore record, really good. Fucking angry, screamy, mathy metal album. The Argument by Fugazi, the last album by Fugazi. Not the last album by the members of Fugazi, who would all go on to like do other things. Like Ian MacKaye is now in a band called Corelli. But yeah, this was how they decided to end their career with an incredibly like anti-war album that released in August. Really ahead of the curve on that one. Not that there hadn't been a war before, but like I don't know. I really love The Argument. I think it's like one of my favorite Fugazi records, and I really love just like how pertinent a lot of the lyrics on that album are, and it's crazy that they were pertinent for something that didn't happen for like a couple months after the fact. I suppose it does just sort of speak to the fact that like everything that happened in the wake of 9/11 is just like things that have happened before. Yeah. Like not necessarily to that scale or in that exact way, but like it's same old, I suppose.
Yeah, it'll take several years before you can have an anti-war album again.
It really would. Oh, you mentioned Michael Jackson. Invincible, the I think 10th and for a long time final album by Michael Jackson. Obviously, there would be greatest hits after this, but there wouldn't be any more Michael Jackson albums until after he died in 2009 of like posthumous back catalog stuff.
Yeah, when it's finally okay to get Michael Jackson Michael Jackson albums again.
Yeah.
The death of the author and all that.
I have 2 post-rock records here. I suppose. Sorry.
I was just gonna say literally.
Yeah. I have 2 post-rock records here. Silverman Zion, their second album, and Explosions in the Sky, their second album. 2000s, I guess, just the era of post-rock. Maybe that's just the ones that are like highest rated on the websites I was looking at. Either way, really good albums. Vespertine by Björk, or Björk, I think it's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Classic, like electronic album. It's really good. I think it's hard to pick a favorite Björk album, but I think this is up there. It's gotta be one of my favorites.
Fucked up that she has so many good albums.
It really is. Your Favorite Weapon, the first album by post-hardcore emo band Brand New, more famous for the albums that would come after this. Your Favorite Weapon, I think, kind of like forgotten about because it's not that great, but like Devlin Got a Raging Inside of Me is like a really like significant like rock record of the 2000s, and I think I wanted to mention this early one here. I have Yankee Hotel Foxtrot by Wilco and The Glow Part 2 by the Microphones as two albums that I think are like indicative of like this era of indie rock and the kinds of stuff that was getting a lot of attention, a lot of like good scores. These very sort of instrumentally like dense, especially in the case of the Microphones, like quite lo-fi, independently produced, very cheaply produced. Not that it sounds bad, just that it was like done by like one guy in a studio that he was like borrowing from a friend. Really like beautiful albums. I love the Microphones and I love Wilco. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot also noteworthy, I think, for getting a like 10 out of 10 from Pitchfork. One of the things that I talked about before as being very rare. And so that generates them a lot of buzz. And then I also have another final album, interestingly. I think like this is something I noticed. There's a lot of albums here that are like the final albums of various bands who are like pretty big in the 90s, and a lot of first albums of bands that are big in the 2000s. And that's going to happen any year. Any year there'll be first and final albums. But I think it definitely feels like you're seeing like an end of a certain era of music and a start of another one in terms of the genres that are popular.
The 90s are finally ending.
Yeah. The last... For a long while, it did eventually come back. The last Aphex Twin record, Drukqs, or Druguse, as a lot of people think it's supposed to be pronounced. This album is really good. It's Aphex Twin just like doing random shit, basically. It's the most all over the place record of any of Aphex Twins because it was him experimenting with like robotically controlled instruments, and so it alternates between these like sort of acoustically produced like dance songs, that sometimes run for like 7, 9, 8, 10 minutes. Really like dense like drumming going on, and then obviously like synthesizers and shit all over that. The usual like Aphex Twin stuff just like pushed into more sort of like weirder territory, and then it will alternate between that and like ambient pieces or like piano pieces, of which I think for a long while the most famous one on there was Avril 14th, which was used in various films and stuff. And if you've definitely heard, listener. And then, funnily enough, a different track from this album then became like popular in memes, which is QKThr. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced. I think it's in Welsh. A lot of the tracks on there are in Welsh. But this is the one that was used in like the like subtle foreshadowing meme. It's the like weird sort of like organ sounds. Again, listener, you've heard this. You just may not know that it's like this specific Aphex Twin song, so I'll put a link to this there so you know what we're talking about. But the other reason I bring this album up is because the way it was released, which is just as like 2.5 hours of like unsawed tracks that like will like jump between like different not genres but like tones in terms of which ones are danceable and which ones are like calming like acoustic pieces, is because it was leaked, or rather someone found a memory stick that Aphex Twin had left somewhere, and both him and Warp Records were worried about the album leaking online, and so decided to put it out just early, like as is. And I think that's also kind of like one of the things that like scared Aphex Twin from releasing music for a long while after that. We didn't like put out like a proper full album until 2014 again with Cyro. And I don't know, I think that's like noteworthy in terms of the way that the internet changes the release of music, because now you are scared that something could come out early, that like people could like hack into your like your like database and like upload all of the albums you've got cooking early, or the fact that like stuff like that's unfinished could be released and people will get like the wrong opinion of it. Well, it's it's something that like has always been of a concern. So
before you had to share around like really fuzzy like cassette recordings of a cassette recording. But with the internet, once you've got one copy, you have infinite copies at the same quality.
This wouldn't be the first instance of an album like potentially like leaking online, but I think it is like one of the bigger, most notable ones. Aphex Twin was a a pretty big deal, and like Warp
Yeah.
Records was like, it's not a major label, but it is like a major like independent label. And so I don't know, it's noteworthy to me that like this is a sign of like people being scared of what the internet can do, not in terms of what it can do physically in terms of like harming people, but like the way that it can potentially like damage something minor, but to a record label important as the release of an album. That you want it to be some kind of event that you want people to actually buy it and not just have it like pirated beforehand and so on.
Yeah, and also the Coup tried to release a album Party Music, but for some reason that didn't get their. They had to like print new covers for them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning that because I almost completely forgot about that. Yeah. The band, the like hip hop duo, I think it is.
Yeah.
The Coup, tried to put out an album where the cover was them blowing up the World Trade Center. Obviously, they had to change that.
Yeah, unfortunately, their release got pushed back a little bit till it was past September. If it had come out on time, it would have been so amazing.
I do have one other 9/11 related thing regarding with regard to music that I want us to talk about. It's not an album. Do you know about the like Clear Channel memorandum?
Not by name.
It was the like internal memorandum sent out to all of the radio stations run by Clear Channel, which is now iHeartMedia, I think.
Yeah.
That was like, here are the list of all the songs that you are not allowed to play after 9/11.
Oh yeah.
And it's I would recommend everyone go look at this list because it's really strange. There's a lot of like ones that like kind of make sense of like, well, you don't want songs about, you know, airplanes crashing or explosions or people dying or whatever. And equally, you don't want songs that are like overly happy or celebratory.
No Rage Against the Machine, but also no Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the interesting things is that like, it's like all specific songs, and then at the end it's like, and nothing by Rage Against the Machine. It's the only band that is like called out as like, you are not allowed to play anything by these.
Not
and
a
it's
single
for like
thing.
entirely like, political reasons, which is that they were like considered like, you know, kind of like anti-war lefties. So like you can't play anything by them, which I think is, I don't know, I think that's noteworthy because it's not just that like they're angry, or they're talking about like, you know, people killing each other or whatever. It's like these people do not like the government and are probably going to be mad about what the government does in the wake of 9/11.
Yeah, it's very, very funny where politics always comes up. It's sure always swings against the left for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
Though nowadays people are like, what do you mean that Rage Against the Machine was leftist? When I listened to it when I was 16, I didn't know what a left was.
Yeah, the machine is just like an angry washing machine or something. It's about smashing like white goods.
Yeah, it's just about throwing a brick in a washing machine.
Yeah,
which is cool. Everybody should try that.
Vibrate itself apart. True, or at the very least, go watch the video of that being done.
But yeah, there we go. I think that catches us up on music. Yeah,
there will be more next week, as I said, specific album, but that'll be a teaser. Tune in next week.
Yeah. All right. So I teased it last week. Let me do the full thing of Pokey the Penguin. Do you know? We got to explain what Pokey the Penguin is. So okay, all right. This nerd named Steve Havlik was like, man, these MS Paint comics are kind of bad. I'm gonna make my own, but make it even worse on purpose, and just pure like non sequiturs and nonsense surrealism. And it turns out people liked it. There's not normally a joke to a Pokey the Penguin comic. The idea of a punchline is foreign. It's just free association bullshit. Let me give you a sample one.
Hello, Pokey. Will you be my nice friend? I know you have a hole in your gut. It is the strangest thing, Pokey. One day I woke up and my innards were leaking out. And then you turned into a machine? Yes. This is an experiment, friend. Okay. Victory. You shot the tires of the ice cream truck. Ice cream for everyone. Let's go find my boss. And then this is crossed out for some reason. Okay, Pokey, what will we do then? You will see. Here we are at the post office. Hello, Pokey, how may I help you? Get ready for a deadly gift. And by deadly, I mean delicious. Thank you for the ice cream.
Yep. I can hear you laughing your laughing your guts out at that.
It is. Oh man, it's a thinker. Why is there like a fire off screen? Is that the ice cream machine?
Don't worry. That might be the ice cream truck.
Okay.
Who knows?
Okay.
Next, you're gonna ask why there's another penguin that's just crossed out in green.
Mm-hmm. And they're being shot with like a laser or something. I don't know.
No. It's one of those like these. They're nothing is ever erased when they're making a Pokey the Penguin comic. Just like you put stuff down, you start filling it out. If it's wrong, you just mark it out. There's no going back, only forward. Also, you might notice this is all in all the text is in italicized courier. And when people shout, it's usually then bolded, underlined, and struck through. But yeah, like, Pokey is very much like in that genre of like just surrealist humor. Where it's crudely made surrealist humor, which is a subgenre. And it's strangely popular. Like, it showed up in the Hitman games twice. You know, it's definitely what you would think of as a generic Hitman thing to reference Pokey the Penguin.
That's amazing.
But yeah, you get the characters that exist, like as they exist. You got Pokey the Penguin. He's Pokey the Penguin. Mr. Nutty, the alcoholic British snowman and capitalist. Also, small child or / little girl who may or may not be Pokey's sister. And the most, this is a time capsule, Skeptopotamus. A skeptic that is a hippopotamus. Mm-hmm. And it pretty much everyone that isn't like the snowman or Skeptopotamus is just a penguin that may have devil horns or be recolored poorly. And it's just a very chaotic, beautiful thing that was like ran from like 1998 till technically today. The guy has put out a fully animated YouTube short recently, which is done with like standard 3D animation that is focused on realism for some reason, like cartoonish realism, but it's definitely nothing is crude about it, which I think is as much of a joke as making a lore accurate Pokey the Penguin.
Yeah.
But yeah, that you got any questions about Monsieur Pokey?
I don't think so. No. Is this the main thing the creator's known for, or have they done other things? I
mean, that's the main thing they're known for. They've the most other things they did are like making writing open source code and being a coder.
That's pretty funny.
So yeah. It's like they're a programmer that did this dumb comic also.
Yeah. Good for them. I love this. I'm gonna read all of these later. I'm just looking at the perfect day featuring Gregor Samson. One day in the Arctic Circle, an overnight transformation from man to insect. Radical. Hello, ladies. The monstrous vermin of your dreams is here. Gregor, what a carapace. Hey there, Pokey. Check it out. I know. Let's go shopping. $100? Will my luck never end? It is very stylish, Gregor. What do you think, Pokey? Oh no. But I'm reading this backwards. Why is this like going from fucking right to left like a manga? What do you think, Pokey? It's very stylish, Gregor. But it costs $120. Oh no. Did you know of our Sunday sale? $20 off our fine Hawaiian shirts. Amazing. This truly is the perfect day. And I'm glad they finally wrote a fix at Fic for the metamorphosis of Gregor Samsa is happy to be a bug.
We must imagine Gregor Samson happy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is awesome. You mentioned about this like being intentionally terrible, and I think that's worth bringing up because it's, it's not a thing that the internet invents of what if I did something bad on purpose, but it definitely does feel like it gets more popular as a format online of I'm going to take something that is usually done badly and do it even worse intentionally.
The making the barrier to entry to like share this around much lower really helps the genre of doing things even worse on purpose.
Because it's definitely also that kind of just like
go ahead.
Sorry, I'll let you finish. It's definitely that kind of just like random dumb humor that is also very much a thing of the 2000s online.
Yeah.
In terms of like things being like bad on purpose, the two that come immediately to mind are Sweetbro and Hella Jeff from Homestuck, which is a bit later, and Super Mega Comics, which I love, which are all like incredibly crudely drawn stick figure cartoons on the most like garish yellow background you've ever seen, and all of the dialogue is incredibly dreamlike is the only way I can describe it. Like it has the like flow that like of it all makes sense within the logic of the comic, but like looked at from the outside, it's just random bullshit happening. I love Super Mega Comics. But like that, even beyond just like comics and stuff like that, like shit on purpose because it's funny to be shit. That's so much of the like irony based comedy of the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the humor of the millennials. Although it's continued, nobody's talking about Gmod animation because it's well done unless you're like a crazy person. There are crazy people making well done Gmod animations. Sometimes they make an entire movie. But yeah, should we move on to our happy story arc, where nothing bad happens?
Oh boy, should we?
So what happened this week?
All right, this week on It's Walky, I'll put a note as to where we start and finish, and I will say, this time, content warning for gore of all things. If you're reading along, and do just be aware of that. It will suddenly cut to a bunch of strips in which there's a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Anyway, this week on It's Walky, Head Alien uses a rebuilt monkey master to locate a Martian facility underwater, but he cannot enter without Martian DNA. He lures Semi to this facility, battles with them for a while, and then reveals that Linda used Martian technology to give herself Martian DNA, and that has now been passed on genetically to Sal and Walky. He attempts to use Sal's dead parents, who can be resurrected also with Martian technology, as leverage, which doesn't convince Walky until the tubes fall on Big Boss and mortally wound him, as well as traumatizes Sal when she sees her dead parents. To save Big Boss, Walky lets Semi and also Head Alien into the Martian facility, but before they can do anything, Head Alien's mysterious superior shows up, kicks everyone out, and seals the entrance, and then everyone attends the funeral of Big Boss.
Yeah, and
I think that's everything.
Yeah, and you can see the exact point that 9/11 happens in the comic.
Yeah, there's one big thing there's two big things that happen in this that we'll get into later. But like at one point, the author like fucking counts down to it in the commentary, which is pretty funny. But there is a change in it that happens in the plot because of 9/11 that isn't super important to the sort of broad arcs here, but is important for the characters. But we'll get to that when we get to it.
Yeah, but first off, hey, Monkey Master got a redesign. He's got joints.
Yeah, he's got all tubes in his neck and shit. And he's got a backpack cannons instead of just a head cannon pointing upwards.
Yes, he's useful now. And watertight, evidently.
Yeah. Well, not all of them.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. So Head Alien's just been riding Monkey Master around underwater, trying to find any of these Martian facilities using the scanner on the UFO. Different scanner, not me scanner.
Yeah.
And different to anti-scanner also. This is a scanner like that detects things.
It's very sensitive.
Yeah. Well, they're using the regular scanner, and they can't pick anything up. So one of the aliens suggests they should use the sensitive scanner. And the gag there is that it's emotionally sensitive and doesn't want to do what it's because Head Alien.
Yeah, just like the other scanner.
Yeah, just like me. If people are mean to me, I just like completely shut down. I go non-verbal, etc. I whimper, as it literally does at one point.
But yeah, it's very funny that like sensitive scanner came from like a Transformers fanfic.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, as the author says here, it's a play on a bad Transformers fanfic. You see, there was a sensitive scanner, and I thought, hey, what if I took that kind of literally? And I've told you this before, right? Sensitive scanner has shown up already. I honestly can't remember. Is this the first appearance? Well, either way, you get the idea. Anyway, sensitive scanner's last line is another Transformers reference. There's a scene where Chrome Dome stomps off like an upset teenager, shouting that line. We're all Transformers in here. We also get a little bit of a misogyny from Head Alien, where he describes it as like talking to a woman. It's like, how do you know that, man? Do the aliens even have gender, or are they like all dudes?
Yeah. No, well, if they're all dudes, they have gender.
I guess we'll find out. Yeah. Yeah, they're like all dudes, and as such, they show up on Earth. And I'm like, man, I hate these human dudes, but I hate these human women especially. They're so bitchy.
And we're building up the Monkey Master / Head Alien dynamic duo of Monkey Master being the one who, can just put aside their ego and just be like nice to the sensitive scanner.
Yeah, it's quite cute.
But hey, we got to go to find the old Martian Empire's Earth hub, to the embassy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, embassy's an interesting word because it's like embassy to who? To Earth? Because it seems as though they've only ever been fighting humans. Maybe there was a different alien race on Earth as well as the Martians. Or maybe embassy is being used here, like not literally. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah. But first we gotta have a joke that the monkey gun does not have an airtight magazine.
Yeah, this is gruesome, as there are a lot of things this time. But it did get a laugh out of me where Head Alien asked him to blast it, and even though he's replaced the cannons, he hasn't replaced what they do. So they do just still shoot out monkeys, and in this case, dead waterlogged monkeys.
Yeah. Although not as mentioned, if the chamber was airtight, they would still be dead monkeys.
They might be a bit sturdier. Maybe they would have been able to blast through that door. Yeah, as a result, they cannot break through, and they cannot enter normally because the door requires proper DNA access, which means they needed a Martian, which is impossible because they're now all dead, or something else.
Yeah, what if we bring some people that we know probably have some Martian DNA in them by just picking up fucking Hooper and killing him. Hey, remember last episode we were like, man, we should kill that guy? And then
they finally did it. They finally did what I asked.
And also every other appearance of Hooper. Well, he got juiced. Just squeezed by Monkey Master.
It does happen off screen, but we do get a lot of blood dripping onto the panel.
Yeah,
it's like, damn, that's fucked up.
Now it's real. But we got to get away from that and get to Dina explaining Jurassic Park 3 raptors to Walky.
I can't believe that Jurassic Park 3 ended up being relevant to this comic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dina and Walky are still dating, and Walky is asking Dina questions about the dinosaurs. And Walky is, as a lot of dumb people are, annoyed by the fact that it turns out dinosaurs had feathers.
And then, rawr!
Like they're wrong. The dinosaurs having feathers, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Firstly, dinosaurs having feathers is cool. Secondly, rawr.
Rawr. Yeah. The next comic is Walky doing a rawr, and then Joyce walks up and rawrs back, and Tina has to awkwardly, like, in, like, a font, like, 14 sizes smaller, go, "Rawr."
Yeah, she is realizing that shit, those two actually have a lot more in common than I do with him. But it is cute nonetheless that she tries.
Yeah.
Rawr.
But yeah, the squad gets called in to the big boss, and told that, hey, the aliens are up to something, and they killed Hooper.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the team went. The rest of that squad went after him after they killed Hooper, and was like, that was a bad idea. Also, our cameras have 3 pixels.
Yeah, they are very pixelated. It does look odd because it doesn't quite look like a low resolution screen. It just looks like the image hasn't loaded right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
regardless, sorry.
Yeah, it takes time to realize how to, like, okay, how do I show that this is on a screen and not, just a cut in? And there's lots of things you can do. This is one of them. Probably not the option you should choose.
Yeah.
A future comic artist.
Yeah. Pixelation looks weird because very rarely in real life does something look pixelated unless it's done intentionally, which obviously this is, but you're trying to make it look like a screen rather than a deliberately censored image. The actual easier one is to add scan lines, which would be pretty easy to do with pen also, because you would just like draw like very thin black lines with pen. Not that I'm trying to give the author art advice 20 years after the fact. I'm just saying that, like, it's about like trying to communicate something visually rather than like trying to like accurately represent how it's supposed to be.
Which has gotten harder as screens have gotten better.
Yeah.
Because, what's a scan line?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, so kids, there used to be these things called cathode ray tubes. They were a specific kind of television where like a laser gun would shoot lines of light across the TV. And there'd be little gaps in there. And those would be the scan lines.
Yeah, you might know about them from Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Yeah. I'm going to recommend, just quickly, because I should say, this is absolutely not important to this comic at all. It's just, I think, worth pointing out, because I think there's a lot of experimentation with the art here, and so it's cool to see them try to do things like this. But I will say, everyone should go watch a video by the Slow-Mo guys on how a CRT TV works.
Oh,
This is crazy. Yeah. It doesn't work at all like you think it does. It is showing 1 pixel of the image at a time. It's just happening so fast, it looks like the whole thing.
Yeah, there's a reason that the book on programming for the Atari, that the games for the Atari is called Racing the Beam.
Mm.
And you're like, wait, no, it's literally just going across. It's just a little point of light, and it's fucked up. There aren't even technically pixels.
Yeah, there are things that are like analogous to pixels, but they kind of like smear together according to your eye. Which is where you get that like CRT effect that we've all seen the screenshots of, the comparison of like Castlevania.
Which people believe in way more than it was actually true, because a lot of times people making graphics for stuff did not have the time or the care to worry about that. Mm-hmm. Not everybody was good at pixel graphics.
Yeah, it was not like... Yeah, it was not an intentional decision, but it is nonetheless something that makes pixel art like look better, is the fact that it like kind of blurs together and erases those like hard edges.
I mean, at times it was an intentional decision, but other times it totally wasn't. You can tell it by...
what I mean is to say that like...
I was going to say, you can tell it because a lot of games have their art drawn with square pixels, even though it will not be displayed with square pixels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sorry. What I meant to say is that like it was intentional a lot of the time, or even some amount of the time. But like every pixel in every video game was not placed there deliberately to try and make sure that it blurred together with like the other colors surrounding it. It was not that tightly controlled.
But yeah, back to the comic.
Anyway, back to the comic.
Yeah, we got Big Boss having to ask, hey, is Joyce together enough to be useful on the team? And of course, Professor Doctor, the doctor who's a professor, says yes, because that's been his position. And then Big Boss just asks Dina, and she's like, No. And how much of that is jealousy, and how much of that is true fact, left up to the reader.
Yeah, I think for Dina, in this case, it is some amount of, like, a pretty big amount of, like, pettiness and like jealousy. But regardless, she is kind of right in that, like, yeah, she's not mentally well, as evidenced by the fact that Professor Doc is like, yep, she's insane, send her out.
And then like, who's going to fill in the empty spot? And Dina's like, I will. I want to expand my knowledge in the field of explodology.
That's a good line. Yeah, so I just want to say that, like, Dina does look, like, guilty about saying no. She is, like, deciding to exclude Joyce from this, but she's not happy about having been the one to do it.
Yeah, but yeah, that means we got Dina, who doesn't know how to fight, on a dangerous mission where people have already died. I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Yeah, well, she'll just, like, sit back and be like the healer.
True. Maybe that's what her alien power is.
Oh yeah, she is an abductee, isn't she?
She's an abductee.
Yeah, I wonder if she, like, has a specific power, or if she just has, like, the usual super strength that everyone else has and just hasn't used it for anything.
We'll have to find out. Look, if you're an important character, you're gonna have some kind of cool power. That's required by law. But yeah, Big Boss is going on the mission because he's one of two people who have dealt with Martians before.
Yep. One of the only two people alive, I think, is the...
true, alive. Now, I'm sure that'll go well for him.
We also get them going there... Sorry. Yeah, we also get them going there on an aircraft carrier. I don't know if Semi has access to an aircraft carrier, or if they're just, like, along for the ride. But they are, nonetheless, on the USS Charge, which is one of the author's friends, I believe.
Yeah. And also, we get a group shot, which is, like, half the author's online friends.
Yeah, everybody's here. They're all in their yellow stripy shirts.
But they're also dressed for summer weather.
Yeah, it is very funny that they're not in, like, tactical gear or anything. They're just in, like, regular clothes. Like, Big Boss looks like he's about to go golfing.
Yeah. Sal's just, ready to hit the club.
Yeah.
Although Dina's rocking that green shirt and khakis look. Does not have a Zelda logo, though, so...
Oh my god, she is fucking wearing that.
But there's so many people. There's so many people in this crowd shot, and, like, 7 of them are normal characters. But hey, it's time to go underwater.
That you don't recognize at all.
Yeah. You know what underwater means? Dumb little mouth things to breathe underwater.
I can't believe the Phantom Menace ended up being relevant again. They've got
once
again.
the
rebreathers from the Phantom Menace.
I mean, they're also, like, the rebreathers from, like, that one James Bond movie. It's just a very popular...
Yeah, that's probably the
thing.
specific thing that's being... Yeah, referenced here, if anything is being referenced at all, or if it's just like, I didn't want to have to draw fucking scuba gear. But it makes sense that it's the Bond thing. Although I do wonder how far underwater they are. Not that I think the author was like... was looking up how deep can you go without getting the bends. But...
Well, it's okay. The bends only matter when you're going back up.
Yeah.
And a lot of these people aren't ever going back up again.
That's true.
Because we get, like, half a torso floating in the water in the very first underwater, like, strip. And dude's cut in two. The monkey shot from a gun can't do that.
Yeah, they well, underwater they would have very little velocity. They lose a lot of momentum pretty quickly underwater. But even still, I don't think being hit by a monkey at any speed would be able to cleanly cut you in half.
Now, if it's fast enough to cut you in half, it's fast enough to explode you.
Yeah, that's what a lot of the like Mercury Redstone launches NASA was doing. Where it's trying to see is like how fast do we have to launch a monkey that can cut someone in half.
It's true. Although France was busy trying to see how fast you can have to launch a cat to cut someone in half. But yeah, we're just finding piles of dead body down here, and some kind of fucking creatures down here just killing everyone.
Yeah, we get a long series of strips involving people that are on the squad 128 and 137, I think. I'd have to check somewhere where it's said exactly. But then fighting some kind of large monster that is mostly silhouetted or off screen throughout this fight.
Yeah, and a lot of restraint to build it up for this long.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky.
Also, we get a quick cut back to Joyce having to be up above water and deal with everyone dying down there and not being able to do anything.
Yeah, she's been taken along, but she's not part of the mission, so she's up on the USS Charge with Professor Doc, listening to the radio where they're talking about the various carnage that's happening.
But yeah, it turns out that weird silhouette that was asking for identification, it's a tarantula gun.
It's tarantula plus gun.
Yeah.
You get it?
Just like gun freedom.
Yeah. So the thing they're fighting is a giant robotic tarantula that's created to guard the Martian embassy, and this is based on another thing from the author's childhood of a monster they created to fight Ultracar.
Yeah, we keep hearing about this Ultra Car. I wonder when it's going to come up.
Yeah, I assume it's got to show up in this, because every fucking other drawing that ever went on the fridge in the author's childhood.
I mean, we technically have seen Ultra Car several times already.
Yeah, it's just been like a regular car. So I guess it'll be hit with the Allspark and that'll turn it into a Transformer, and then it'll join Semi.
But yeah, like to explain the look of the tarantula gun. If you've seen Transformers Beast Wars, looks like like what a spider mode in one of those would look like. Bright yellow legs, purple stripe, and then like a purple body with even purpler stripes. Just very toyetic.
It also has an angry face and guns for pedipalps. Or fangs. I think the pedipalps are just like the red spikes.
Yeah, luckily Big Boss comes with the semi-marine.
It's the submersible.
Yeah, submersible.
I don't. It only makes sense written out. If you say it aloud, it just sounds like you missed a vowel somewhere, or a consonant rather.
Yeah, and it turns out that this thing that has been just going through all these abductees like a buzzsaw is the Martian equivalent of a customs agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how Big Boss describes it. Which we get a joke from Jason about no one ever trying to disembowel him when he came to the States. Not yet, man. Give it time.
Well, he does have the bonus of being from the UK and being white.
Yeah, even still. Like as long as he doesn't have any fucked up pictures of JD Vance on his phone, he should be able to get through the Martian customs. Okay.
He does. He does.
Yeah. Bloody hell! Ain't this funny? He looks like a right munter.
But yeah, Sal gives like a talking to Dina, because this is a combat mission and she's not good at combat. Also, I guess Walky peed himself, which, I mean, fair. If something was gonna kill me, and I'm in the ocean. But yeah, we get
a joke as well. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
We get a lot of things. We get a joke regarding the tarantula gun, which is that it is like asking for identification in the Martian language and also Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's purely just a joke about it being like a customs agent and about like a bilingual thing, or if it's like does that mean anything that it can speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Well,
it can do English too. When it does the first run through, it does the Martian, Spanish, and English.
Yeah. Which is funny. It's just it's like there's so much bullshit in this has come back as serious things, and so I'm like pointing out like at every joke anytime like someone like pisses themselves. I'm like, damn, that's gonna lead to the pissing yourself monster later.
We do also get the important lore that Sal is ticklish.
Yeah. Can you be tickled underwater? I don't know. So we'll have to test that. It seems like you should be able to be tickled underwater, but I don't know. Maybe you can't.
Yeah, we'll have to check with the experts later.
Yeah, we'll have to get Mythbusters on this.
But yeah, the squad and Big Boss and everybody finally makes it to the embassy, and fucking head alien just waiting there.
Smug little prick.
And
Sal does
pretty good flying leap out of the water.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. She like jumps out of the water and then doesn't quite manage to kick him in the face because he runs off. But like, God, what a leap!
I'll kill you. Is my name Tony?
He's obviously provoking you. He wants you to chase after him for some reason.
Are you sure?
What a little scamp. He's standing there going, "Oh, spank me." I need to see him lose badly. It's gonna be so satisfying when he gets defeated in some manner or other.
But yeah, he in our Sunday Sunday strip, he's just complaining about like, his plan sucks as he's barely keeping alive as Sal is chasing him, and the white background doesn't work, but that's why it gets changed later.
Yeah, I do like the some of the Sunday strips here. Like this one especially, it's doing a lot with angles and with shading, and like silhouetting. It's quite cool. I think this is probably after the author started using, I think 3ds Max was the name of the software they mentioned, to like help like plan out these places, and so it's giving them more interesting angles and stuff. It's cool. I really like what they're doing with the art here. It's very rough, obviously. The like gradients are very digital looking, but they are nonetheless, there are gradients here in order to indicate lighting.
But yeah, he's finally like led Sal to the where he wanted, and where he wanted to bring her was to the test tubed bodies of her dead parents, who are floating as just like gory corpses.
They're so gory. I do want to read how Head Alien introduces this, because this is an important lore drop.
Yeah.
He tells Sal to slow down. He says, "Hold up, just hear me out, okay? We're on the verge of the greatest civilization that ever lived. The Martians could do it all, span galaxies, restructure their DNA, even bring back the dead. But no one can get in. The entire city is shielded past this embassy, and I need help. So, this is going to be uncharacteristically kind of me." And then we got to the next panel, where we get the reveal. And he says, "Your parents." And man, what do I even say on this? Like, that's so fucked up looking.
Yeah, they are. Using all the skills he had to just be like, yeah, these people have definitely been exploded, and one of their heads flew off at least once.
Yeah, they're remarkably all together considering they were blown up. But yeah, I don't know. It's like very like cartoonish gore, but I think that like makes it more unsettling. Like how illegible some parts of them are.
So yeah, that headmaster is just like the head alien's just like, hey, just open this door and you can resurrect your parents. And
yeah, he explains. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
He explains, 25 years ago, your real mother killed off the Martians. She had to have gotten inside, right? And that's a no-no about the proper DNA. I don't know how, but she must have restructured her own body chemistry to get access. She's hidden from me, but you might do the trick.
And then we get the big reveal. It wasn't Sal at all. It was Walky.
It was her twin. Walky was in disguise. He put on a wig, and it made him look enough like Sal that it tricked Head Alien.
Yeah, her jacket, a little seaweed, voila.
Oh yeah, it's seaweed rather than a wig. I guess the lighting was low enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe Head Alien just like really has bad eyesight, or just like can't tell people apart. All you humans look the same to me.
But also, this is where we get like Walky's iconic hair, because it's just wet and messy, and it's like, this seems better. Maybe we should stick with this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we got to switch back. Everybody's fighting a new upgraded Monkey Master, and it's not going well.
Yeah, we get a huge splash panel on a Sunday strip in which it's just a big shot of everyone fighting Monkey Master. A little bit more gore here, like cartoony, even like including a big splat effect of Beef just like crushing one of the monkeys in his fist. But I think worth mentioning just for the amount of like violence and gore that there is in this. It's definitely a step up from anything else that's come before.
But also, while Sal's directing people of how to fight, Dina's not very useful because again, she works at a desk, but she does know the difference between a monkey and an ape.
Yeah, you say she's not useful, but it's always good to have an etymologist.
Yeah.
On the team. Sorry, not an etymologist. The word's escaping me. So it's someone who's like the expert in like the classification of animals.
Yeah, just someone who's really into cladistics.
Yeah. Isn't this taxonomist?
Yeah, taxonomist.
That's the word I'm looking for. Isn't this a callback to an earlier joke?
It is.
Where, Monkey Master was created for the first time, and he himself points out that he's not a monkey; he's an ape.
Maybe Dina and Monkey Master really get along.
Yeah, maybe they're the one true pairing.
But hey, you want a joke about being monkey humped?
Yeah, I didn't care for that.
Well, it's okay. Mike throws their dead bodies into the guns.
Yeah, I'm using this word a lot, but again, quite grisly. What he's doing here, and like it's played off as like a joke, but like those are like people that just got killed by being pummeled with monkeys, and he's just like doing slapstick with them.
Although Monkey Master's face in the last panel is really good.
Mm-hmm. He's so sad about it. His poor monkey guns, they don't work no more.
But yeah, we back to the ultimate battle between Walky and Head Alien. Someone who can only talk and someone who has severe ADHD. It turns out like also Walky's being like super confident because hey, he's got, maybe it's just the jacket, maybe just having his sister's jacket on gives him the confidence. Yeah, not the ability to not like resist your shoes untied thing from Head Alien.
He's so easily tricked. They need to sort that out.
His shoes are untied though, so.
Oh yeah, okay. Firstly, they need to give him like Velcro shoes.
Yeah,
and then they can give him Adderall.
But hey, the tape recorder comes back, and this time it's Joyce's, childhood screams for Walky as Head Alien, baits Walky into a corner so he can, traumatize him. Look, it's important to traumatize people.
It's his main thing. But yeah, the reason he's doing this is he's just like traumatizing him is because we didn't mention this, but he was not able to convince Walky to let him in, which I quite like as a decision. But like Walky's like, no, whatever you want in there would be worse than whatever we could gain from getting in there. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying no. And I don't know. I like that. I like that decision from Walky. It's like for all of his absent-mindedness and silliness and stupidity, he is at least like able to like choose the right thing, or at the very least, to me at least, what feels like the right thing to do here.
But yeah, the head alien, like, in anger about like being denied to get in, decides to like, hey, I got some real bad trauma that I had memory erased from you. Let me remind you of all of that. Here we go. You and Joyce went on the ship for a routine checkup, but you managed to get loose, you little devils. We chased you all over until we finally found her. We announced all over the widespeaker that if you didn't show up, we'd hurt the girl. And you didn't. No, you hid. Despite her pleas, you found a dark corner and covered your ears. Mind wipes erase the event, but not the echoes of her screams across your consciousness. So go ahead. Make a fart joke. Plead ignorance. Avoid the pit your sister fell in long ago. Pretend to? Walky? Where'd he go? And now we find out the ways that him and his sister are alike. As he fucking kicks the two pods with Sal's parents' dead bodies onto a fucking head alien. And boy, is there some gore.
Yeah, he kicks the tubes down and they fall and and break through the floor, knocking head alien down. I don't know if he's like been crushed by these or whatever. He isn't killed here, but he is like thrown through the floor. But yeah, this falls down nearly on top of Dina and Big Boss, but Sal jumps just in time to save Dina, but not Big Boss.
Yeah, there was enough time to save one of them.
Yeah,
and also in this Sunday strip with the Big Boss like crushed and the horrible dead bodies, that was turned into one of the ads for Keen Spot.
Hey kids, you want to read this? That's pretty hardcore, right?
Yeah, the Keen Spot had like a news box that was split between like you had the G-rated version and the normal version. And after this ran, a lot of people switched to the G-rated box.
That makes sense.
And we get a dawning realization of Sal about who these dead bodies are.
Yeah, this is quite a striking Sunday strip. Is like Sal with Dina, and she's just like looking at these as you say, the like realization dawns to her as who these people are. Meanwhile, there is like a panicked conversation coming from everyone else. It's like, I know, who are those people? Like, what happened to Big Boss? What's going on? Etc. Etc. It's quite upsetting. Like it's effective communicating the suddenness and the like panic of this.
Yeah.
We also get here because Big Boss is not sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Big Boss is not immediately killed here, but he is definitely dying, and he like rambles about Tony, and we get a reveal that Big Boss had brought Tony's body along, previously been killed by Sal, because Big Boss knows of the Martian resurrecting technology.
Yeah, and this is what finally convinces Walky that maybe we should go open that door.
Now it's worth it to save Big Boss, or maybe not necessarily to save Big Boss, but to undo something that Walky accidentally caused, which is Big Boss's death.
Mm-hmm.
Is to some extent the utility of saving this man, and to some extent like the guilt of unintentionally causing his death, or impending death rather.
And also we get to see Head Alien's crushed body. He's losing all his tang. But we find out that this was all part of Head Alien's plan. Fucker and his plans. Yeah, we get a quick flashback of like Walky snapping the corpse capsules while saying, "I hope you die." And Head Alien goes, "Uh-oh." Just like your sister, I win. And he says that after dodging the capsules, but as the floor collapses.
Mm-hmm.
How many steps have you got in this plan?
Yeah, the chronology here is a little bit hard to follow, and the plan is a little bit convoluted.
I mean, a lot of times he just seems to be like, okay, time for backup plan. Time for the backup plan. Time for the backup plan.
Yeah. Why don't you just start at the final backup plan and work forwards? Because it seems like that one, the final one, is the one that's going to be the most secure.
I mean, if the final plan involves me being crushed by a ceiling, I'm gonna try the other ones first.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, hey, we're on this strip published on September 10th, 2001. Everyone knows the obvious significance of this date. It's the 4th anniversary of the first Roomies strip.
Yippee!
Beautiful.
That's good. That's going to be really loud in the edit. I apologize. Happy 4th anniversary, everyone. It's all sunshine and rainbows from now on.
But yeah, they have a quick vote, and then they go into the strange science fiction interior of the Martian embassy.
Yeah, they say there's miles of stuff in here. So it's unclear how big it is, but it is fucking huge. This underwater facility, these underwater villages.
Yeah, and Sal runs off because the people mention she's getting special treatment, and she hates when she feels special.
Mm-hmm.
And oh no, turns out when you open the Martian embassy, the big dumb monkey can just walk in.
Yep. Yeah. He's holding a head alien.
Yeah,
his new patient.
And also Sal just gets like backhanded across the street.
Yeah, she just got fucking thrown. Like in a way that would like kill a normal person, but this is both a cartoon and she's got super strength, so I assume she's all right.
Also, maybe he just steps on Tony's corpse. That one's slightly less clear.
It's a bit hard to make out, but I think that's what happens, is that they're, as well as dragging along Big Boss, they're also dragging along Tony's body from the submersible. And he just like steps on him. It's like now he'll head alien.
And to read here, man, seriously, this is fucking dreary. Imagine trying to put this shit to paper as you're being inundated with ground zero footage on television, still wondering where some of your friends are, and increasingly fearful of World War III. It's not fun. I was sitting there thinking, fuck. And then we get to Joyce,
sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, which does lead us to our next strip. The first one drawn after 9/11, I believe.
Yeah.
Because there was like a little bit of a buffer. That is, Joyce on the USS Charge deciding that she's going to go down there to do something.
Yeah, she's not doing this as a semi-agent, but as a human being.
As the author says in this one, it's 9/14/2001, and whoa, hey, it's Joyce. Look at Joyce. She's tired of watching everyone die from afar and is going to save everybody. No one can possibly see how transparently Joyce stands in for myself. Go, Joyce, go.
Yeah. The next one's pretty good too. Yeah, Joyce is totes talking about the happenings of the strips that happened immediately prior, not any real life current events that might be going on right now in September of 2001.
Yeah, this is so direct. I'm gonna just read this. What she's thinking as she is swimming towards the Martian facility. So many people have died already. A distant horror. It's too late to prevent stuff, but at least I can be there to share it and maybe offer a glimpse of hope. Subtle. I know writers who use subtext.
Yeah, and then we find out, oh no, Hooper didn't die.
Yeah, he's very wounded, but he's throw him back in.
Yeah. Hooper, Matt, and Fritz are back. Not Zach though. Zach gets to stay dead.
Yeah.
But as Joyce comes out of the moon pool into the Martian embassy. But yeah, hey look, Hooper and Mats and Fritz, but not Zach, are all alive somehow. Suddenly, 9/11 brought Hooper back to life, guys. Greatest regret, bringing Hooper back to life, not having him need to replace his hand with a chainsaw.
Yeah, he is holding a chainsaw rather than having replaced Ash from Evil Dead style.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Man, I
bring him
love a
back,
moon
make
ball.
him lose an arm.
Yeah. And give him a shotgun. That'll be his boomstick.
Yeah. What if the chainsaw turns into a shotgun?
I don't know how that would work. They're quite different machines, but sure, fuck it.
Yeah, and then we get back to he should have stayed dead because the first the second strip he's in post death is copying a feel.
Yeah, that's how you know he's alive, baby. Yeah, I really don't care for this character. I don't know what else to say other than it's one bit and it's a bad bit.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we find out the entrance to the Martian ruins is completely collapsed because Monkey Master destroyed it. But hey, Joyce has a big gun,
mm-hmm.
and nobody would stop her from using the big gun to open up the ruins, right? Except somebody with a very big square head who comes in and uses telekinesis powers to just zoop her gun away. And then, clear the entrance, then just fucking toss a Monkey Master back through the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
Some real,
Yeah, he's just swinging people around.
Yeah. Man, this Deus is very Machina. Yeah, it's fucked that Robovac can do all this.
It might be him. Yeah, just to clear up exactly what happens is Joyce and the others are trying to get in there, and then this mysterious shadow figure who is the same one that was talking to Head Alien earlier shows up, throws everyone out, and seals the entrance so they can't get back in. And so as a result, no one is resurrected, or at the very least, no one we see gets resurrected. I may very well be wrong about this. There's a lot of other times where things that didn't happen are shown to have happened just off screen. But as the shadow figure is leaving, Joyce yells at him and says, "Hey you, how can you just walk away? A man just died and your powers can get him to help. He doesn't deserve this. He's a good man." And the first time he says anything back to Joyce, who has been yelling at him this time, is, "Who am I to decide?" and then vanishes.
You want to read this one?
I do. I really like this of what the author is saying about this specific strip. Once more I can feel myself speaking through Joyce, but probably not so transparently. A passionate anger is directed at, essentially, God. Bad things have happened to good people, but God is dispassionate. He's too detached to really care. The dead are still dead, despite our pleas. The cheese, which is the author's name for this character, I don't know what that means, but that's what Harry's referring to. The cheese would stand in as an XP for the Almighty a few more times as its walkie continued, primarily as Joyce battled her faith. Which is thankfully another small reason to be glad Joyce showed up in the final version of this story rather than staying topside. This was a good relationship to establish going forward. Otherwise, you can kind of tell that she wasn't originally planned to be here by asking, what did you really accomplish by joining the story? The cheese does what he wants and leaves. Joyce kind of yells at him a bit, but everything would have happened the same without her being there, sans the revival of Hooper and his teens. Despite my need for an infusion of positivity, I still needed the storyline to end with certain things in certain places, biding their time for later developments. And so, despite Joyce's big heroic return, the storyline ends the same as it would have. All said, I think the takeaway is to layer even your darker storylines with some happy breather moments. I felt forced to here, but I think it ended up better in the long run.
And yeah, it does help the story to have somebody who can yell at the superpowered being with godlike powers, who may or may not stand in for something. Who knows?
Yeah, Shall we wrap up with the final strip?
Yeah, let's wrap up.
Talk about some more thoughts on this section. The last panel or the last strip here is skipping forward some amount of time to Anthony, Big Boss, his funeral. His wife, I believe his wife. Let me check. Yeah, I don't know. Who is this?
That's Anthony McHenry. No. Well, his last name's McHenry.
Who's giving the speech here?
I think that's Linda.
Okay, yeah, this is Linda giving the speech. Anthony joined government service selflessly to help his father. Since that day, his life has never been his own. He was dedicated to the protection of others, even after he lost both his wife and his only son. But he carried on because he hadn't lost his family. He considered everyone here a son or a daughter. Some would say he died a lonely man, but those people didn't know him very well. He was his work, and his work is you, and through his work, he lives on. Thank you, Anthony.
Yep, and there we go, our first funeral in the comic. People have died, but we haven't gone to the funerals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Okay, yeah, just quickly before I go into other stuff. Firstly, it's so fucked up that we never saw a funeral for Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
That's just, like... It might as well have not happened.
Yeah, there's so much room for, like, more, like, twisting the knife with Ruth's funeral.
Yeah.
But Roomies wasn't that comic yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not saying, hey, author, go back and reinsert like a funeral here, because I'm like, no, this is how it was originally, and it should stay this way. Just keep it as it was, as presented. And I think the decision to have a funeral here to, sorry, the decision to have a funeral here to make this like death significant and mean something to the characters, and to be a sort of like stark like turning point in where they go, is a decision being made after having made the decision to not do it to as much with Ruth. Mm-hmm. It is the author learning like how they want to tell their stories, and especially how they want to tell stories when they involve death and grief.
But yeah, we've done it. We've made it through 9/11.
We did.
But yeah, it's amazing
yeah,
how often in webcomics they start having a dark storyline and then 9/11 happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Just quickly. That was the end of this strip in terms of the plot that happens. I want to talk about the God stuff, and I want to talk about the 9/11 stuff. Do you want to talk about the 9/11 stuff first?
Yeah, let's get on this plane and go talk about 9/11.
Yeah. Okay. What did you have to say first?
It's just like this is a time capsule, not just like of like people's reactions to 9/11, but like this movement towards having darker storylines like before 9/11, and then how it accelerated and changed after 9/11. Because like the webcomic like movement was like getting its feet wet with more serious storylines around this time. Lots of people were trying things out. And then something happened that really just put a brick on that gas pedal. Now, what do you have?
So I'm going to introduce this in another way. There's a specific thing I think about with regard to 9/11 often, which is satirical news newspaper and news website, The Onion. Had an article they were going, or a headline rather, they were going to publish after 9/11 decided against, which was every situation under control, Quadragon officials report. Which is a funny dang headline, but I think they considered maybe a little bit insensitive considering what had happened. And the one they decided to run instead is not knowing what else to do, woman bakes American flag cake. Which also funny, but like so like I think really gets to the heart of like the sense of like in the immediate aftermath of 9/11, which to a lot of people seemed to have just like come out of nowhere and was like not fully like comprehensible that like something had happened, let alone comprehensible the scale of the destruction, that whether or not it would continue after that, and what it meant, what was going to be done afterwards, like how do you cope with this, can I help as an individual, and like that like Onion headline of like, yeah, not knowing what else to do, bakes American flag cake. Like what are you supposed to do in the wake of that? I guess like latch onto some like patriotism, or some sort of like routine of like making something. Like that you need some sort of like anchoring point in order to fully like center yourself before you can address this thing that had happened. And I think you can feel some of that in this comic of writing a storyline about an alien invasion and a bunch of like bullshit happening, a lot of like violence, and it being like grim, but like for a lot of it like quite cartoony. Every like gory like parents suspended in tubes, there is like like drowned monkeys being fired at like a wall uselessly and so on. It is ridiculous, and then suddenly the 22-year-old author is confronted with extremely non-ridiculous violence, like beyond your like previous like comprehension of like the kinds of things that could happen in the world and in your country, and it makes it so much firstly, the idea of violence is just so much heavier, that you have been confronted with like a real life version of it, and makes the violence that you've been depicting in the comic so much more ridiculous. Like you struggle to now take it seriously. And I think that's what this insertion here of the decision of like Joyce to go, something bad has happened that I don't fully know about, doesn't fully make sense to me, and my friends are in danger, and I need to go do something, and I don't know what that is, but I need to go do it. I think there is also something to be said about the fact that like Joyce's disaster-induced grief immediately turns into like impulsive, violent revenge. She like she sees this terrible thing happen, and the first thing she does is go grab her giant laser gun to go fight the people who did it. I think that's important to consider in terms of where a lot of the collective thought went in the wake of 9/11 as to what should be done afterwards.
Yeah, let me tell you about how many things we're talking about, like doing a genocide after 9/11. Answer was so many.
At the start of it, sorry. Yeah. It's fucking everywhere. God, what an evil time. Yeah, sorry. I introduced my little ramble here as like, for a lot of people didn't expect this, and it came out of nowhere, and that's not true. But it was the myth that a lot of Americans told themselves, which is like this happened for no reason or out of nowhere, or because the people who did it just hated America, or hated Christianity, or hated freedom, or hated something. They were evil because they were Muslim, or because they were foreign, or because they were just like terrorists. Were just like a violent for no reason. There was nothing leading up to this. There was no like thing that possibly could have like alerted us to this. It happened for no reason, and as such, we now need to go get revenge on the people who did it, or as it turned out, revenge on people basically just sort of geographically near the people who we think did it.
Yeah. Not even really geographically near, just vaguely in that similar region.
Yeah, we're going to invent some bullshit about like weapons of mass destruction, so that we can have a like pointless, as you say, genocidal war here, and we're going to justify it to you via this disaster that happened.
Yeah, and during the bombing campaign in Afghanistan before the ground invasion, the Afghan government was like, yeah, we'll give you him. Just stop. We'll give you him as long as like, you know, he gets a trial like in Europe, and that was not acceptable.
Yep. Yeah. The goal of what followed wasn't justice. It was just mass death. There's no like I have to be that crude in saying it, and that like, yeah, they killed like 1 million people at a minimum for basically no reason. Following this.
Yeah, and like the thing is, the war with Afghanistan, it was popular. People were for that. Like nowadays, looking back, people are like, "No, I was against that." Yeah, but right afterwards, no, you weren't. And it was the Iraq War which had people start rethinking things, because it was like, this has nothing to do with it. This is just literally the son of the guy who went there last time, wanting to like, you know, finish what his dad started.
Ugh.
But hey, let's focus on more near term things, like George Bush telling people that they need to go back to stores to fight against to fight against Al Qaeda, because we can't let our quarterly numbers go down.
Yeah, we can't let the terrorists win with line going down. I don't know, like it really does like heighten the contradictions, huh? When something like this happens, of like we just live in a kind of like insane society, and occasionally it gets introduced to an outside context problem that it doesn't know how to deal with, and usually the what it like leaps to in terms of how to deal with it is just continue consuming, continue doing violence.
Although
is getting beyond the scope of this comic, but like it's sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say, and the reason the line,
understand it.
Yeah, the reason the line was going down was like everybody in like every single town in the U.S., even if it was like, you know, 20 people, was afraid to go to the local mall, because they're afraid a plane might crash into it for like, a month.
Yeah.
The idea was not that like these planes were attacking, where America. They were attacking capitalism. Because they're the World Trade Towers. They're full of gold.
Yeah, that's where the economy was.
Yeah,
it was all stored in there.
Yeah, I guess we'll probably have to tell about the gold vaults in the World Trade Center basement next time. Because by then they'll have got all the gold out and told the firefighters to stop coming. That's literally a thing that happened that the firefighter union had to push back at. It's like, no, we wanted we got dead bodies here. We want to get the bodies out. While the Giuliani and stuff wanted to just scoop up the debris and dump it somewhere so they could get development started quicker. Whole lot of making things very obvious going on. I'm glad that's never happened again to us about the inherent contradictions of our government and our economic system.
It's all terrible. I'm just important big stuff beyond the scope of what I can describe as someone who's not an authority figure in terms of expertise on this, but I think it's important to understanding what's going on in this comic, which is the fact that a lot of people just kind of went a bit loopy as a result of this. It was beyond understanding, and how that gets reflected in art is so strange and awkward and weird and cumbersome and oftentimes patriotic, but without any kind of real understanding of what the patriotism is aiming for. This isn't all of those things, but it is nonetheless weird and intrusion in terms of where this suddenly changes. Sorry.
Yeah, nationalism went through the roof, both normal and Christian flavored.
Yeah.
As just a way to respond to this, a way to put this in a box. While this was a transnationalist attack, it's no, this is they hate our freedom. I don't know what about what we were doing in the Middle East? No, it's freedom they hate.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we can never get another Supertramp album that's got the lady on the wing of the airplane while the Twin Towers are in the background.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of people going insane, when this happened, a lot of conspiracy-minded people immediately leapt to various things predicting this and so on.
I love predictive programming. Yeah, if you believe that this wasn't a terrorist attack, no, it definitely was. The government is incompetent. But hey, at least after that, we had a new government organization put into place that would fix it. Homeland Security, and nothing bad would ever come from it. Or the things under it, Border Patrol.
Yeah. Or immigrations and customs enforcement.
Yeah.
I think in terms of depicting what the American Customs Agency is the giant armed tarantula that kills you for no reason, I think is one of the better depictions of it.
Yeah. It really captures the essence.
Yeah. One thing I do wonder, because there is a little bit of a backlog, has, when the author is drawing this, the anthrax attacks happened? Because they are at the end of September.
No, they had not.
Okay, I wonder if that'll be reflected in the comic, because that's something that's kind of forgotten, but did nonetheless lead to a lot of panic and confusion and fear of ongoing just terror attacks on the United States. Is various people being mailed anthrax.
Yeah, it was a real 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
And at that time, it attacked real people, politicians. Although I guess a bunch of stock market traders getting evaporated is also real people.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I think that like is what is interesting in that like in the immediate aftermath of that, we do get like a bunch of like TV shows and whatever, having something similar happen because these they're just like ripping from the headlines. And the same thing does happen with like 9/11, but like 9/11 is still invoked now, whereas the anthrax attacks are like largely forgotten.
Yeah.
Except as like a footnote to 9/11.
Let me tell you about Star Trek Enterprise.
There's another terror attack. Yeah.
It does also come up in Farscape, but as like the actual real 9/11. Yeah, the joy of having a science fiction thing that's technically set in the present day.
Yeah.
I don't remember what Stargate did, though.
I wouldn't know either.
I have to look back at the archives. But everyone had some episode about 9/11 over and over and over again during this time. Everyone had a reaction. Mm. Especially Marvel Comics with the Black Spider-Man cover. Mm. And everything that's inside of it, which is now just like the most kitsch kind of thing. You look at it and you're like, no, this is a parody. This has to be a parody. Doctor Doom with his one tear about how this is the most evil thing he's seen.
I think, and this isn't like a... Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
What am I trying to say? I think for a lot of people, the way that they fully came to understand 9/11 was through fiction about 9/11, which presented a absurd and almost entirely detached from the reality of it situation, which gave us like understandable good guys and bad guys.
Yeah. Thank you, 24.
Yeah.
But the thing is, that's kind of how like all of history is processed at the end of the day. It is through fiction. It is through popular culture. Ain't nobody reading historical journals. Yeah,
and that isn't to say like fiction is like always going to be a bad way to understand things, that it's never useful, that it's always evil, that it always misrepresents what happens. Or indeed also it's not to say that like 9/11 was good actually, and it's fine that it happened, and all the TV shows about how it was bad were wrong. Because like it was bad that happened. Like 3,000 people did die.
Yeah. Directly and many more indirectly.
It's very easy for in the wake of that to repaint the situation as America being entirely innocent. America is in its like government and its military, and as such, anything they do in response is justified.
And that was the popular thing from almost everyone. Except Rage Against the Machine, strangely enough.
Yeah. And the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah. Well, no, they were... The Dixie Chicks were pro the war in Afghanistan. They were against the Iraq War.
That's so strange. I didn't know that. They were only in favor of one of the wars.
I mean, that is extremely, extremely common.
Yeah. I suppose that is why one of the wars ended and one of them didn't for decades.
Yeah, it was... The number of people who were against the war in Afghanistan are like single digits in the US, sadly. Mm-hmm. Including me back in the day. I was like, no, we got to get this taken care of. But I was a child at the time.
Yeah.
Unlike
I was
all the
babby at the time, I didn't have any opinion.
Yeah, unlike all the Democratic House and senators that were also really for the war in Afghanistan, that changed their tune the second the Iraq War started peeking its head around. I think the only one I can think of that I think voted against Afghanistan was Bernie Sanders, and that's a maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to think that because the Forever Wars went forever and people hated both of them for so long, they started both as hated. But no, we have to remember that bad things can be popular. the reevaluation of the Afghanistan war, just like with Star Wars, the prequels. But yeah, it was a wild time then. And let me tell you, you did not want to be on forums at the time if you were a Muslim.
I bet.
All right. You got anything else to talk about?
About 9/11, not right now. Probably will in the future, as I think it probably gets more and more reflected in the comic. If it's being reflected now by the author, I think we might see more of it. Or maybe we'll see a complete swerve away from it, which will still be interesting. If it's just a refusal to acknowledge such a thing. I did have something to say about the scene with the cheese and God. Did you have anything else to say about 9/11?
No, I'm 9/11 out.
Fair enough. Yeah. So we've talked before, especially in the last few episodes, about religion and about leaving religion for various reasons, like moral issues and ethical issues. This, I think, is a significant one in that like happens to a lot of people who like believe in a god, not necessarily like a Christian god, but just any kind of almighty. Is how do you like deal with the fact that like bad things happen even though God is ostensibly like good and has is omnipotent, is able to control everything that happens. like why does he let these things happen? And for a lot of people, the reasoning that they come to is the fact that he isn't real, that he's not letting these things happen. These things just happen without any input from the divine.
Yeah,
or inversely, sorry.
Yeah, the inherent problem of evil as it comes up again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a deeply like normal process of like the ex-religious of like as you pull more and more away, you start finding the answers to the problem of religion, the problem of evil for an omnipotent, omnipresent, omni-good God starts feeling worse because you're like, okay, it's just free will. That's the only answer, and it is like. It is so common that it's very much one of the normal stops for like people losing their religion.
Yeah. So I was gonna say that like in inversely to it, like it's a thing that happens like with people who have like already left their religion or in the process of doing so, which is that like if I know there isn't a God, or at least I'm increasingly convinced that there isn't, how do I then reconcile the evil that happens in the world? Because previously I could say it's part of God's plan. And if there isn't a plan, why any of it? Why is this the way that it is? And that's, I don't know, it's like something that's like really hard to deal with. Just like so much like awful things can happen in the world. There can be so much death and suffering and war. There can be like a 9/11 happen, and God just like lets that. If there is a God, and it's like, well, why? Why should I believe in this guy if he's going to allow this to happen? And I don't know. I really respect the author for putting this in, even if it's with a guy who may or may not be a giant piece of cheese instead of God.
You don't even know why he's called the cheese.
Yeah, he might be a big piece of cheese, or he might be Robovac and he's called the cheese because it's like the big cheese is like a slang term for a guy who's in charge.
It is,
right? Yeah. I assume that's why they're calling him the cheese then. But this is I don't know who this guy is. I can't wait.
Yeah,
to
see
find
the historical document Mouse PI to understand more about the big cheese.
Understood. I'm saluting. But yeah, like even if there's like the circumstances that sort of said, they are still like representing the author's own like thoughts about faith and about God, and I really like to see it. Like this like wrestling with their own like beliefs, or increasingly their lack of beliefs.
Yeah, hopefully we see more of this. All right, are we ready for recommendations?
I think so. I think I'm done. I'm going to flip through my notes, see if there's anything I missed. Oh, I mentioned this regarding art. There's so many gradients in this in order to like indicate lighting and a sense of space. Really cool to see. There's so much more going on with the art. There's a lot of like thin penciling for like smoke and stuff. That's really cool. The hair is like more detailed on characters. Silhouetting, I mentioned, and to create like really quite stark images of like characters behind, like being backlit.
Just expanding the use of the digital.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think that's it. Yeah. I think I covered everything I want to say about this section. One very big long story with a lot going on.
Well, now for our recommendations. I'm going to start us off. I'm going to start us off with a webcomic, The Thief of Tales. It's about a girl who has to escape into the woods and finds a weird fox spirit that is demanding her to continue to tell stories to it, to keep from being eaten or killed as she tries to cross from one side of the forest to the other, and as the little forest animals learn about the tales, and you learn about the backstory, and it's very cute, it's very fun, and it's completed, it's finished. All right, what do you got?
I am going to recommend something I mentioned earlier. I'm going to recommend Super Mega Comics.
A slightly different genre of comic.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about a lot of heavy stuff at the end of this podcast, so I'm going to recommend something very fun and stupid. This is just a gag comic. I say gag. A sort of like absurdist, kind of like pointless, strange, dreamlike non sequitur comic. It's just really funny, is all I have to say about it. I adore this comic. I reference it all the time. You the listener may have seen a panel from this that is a box being tortured, I believe, where it says my instincts tell me life shouldn't be this terrible. I've seen that used as a reaction image. There's one I use all the time, which is a character like looking at something online. I can't remember what exactly, but they find it like deeply upsetting, and they say, "That does it. I can't take this anymore. I can't take the internet. I can't stand it. I'm going to take a nap, and then I'll go back on the internet."
I got a true classic.
It's so good. I think about that all the time. Of like, I think I'm done with the internet. I'm gonna step away for 20 minutes, and then I'm gonna go back to looking at the internet. Just the like helplessness of it. It's so good.
We've all been there. Yeah, I think that it does it for the day. Thank you everybody for listening. Thank you for all your for learning about 9s and 11s. Bye-bye everybody.
I hope we learn about 10 next week to make it all make sense.
We'll see you again. Same time, same RSS feed. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I save the day. I see the future coming, but I don't know what to do with you now that you're mine. And everything's ending, we don't have the time. I must have been out of my mind, 'cause I finally have something I don't wanna lose. And